Hey everybody! Welcome to the first table talk of A Beard's Tale. We are going to be at these table talks discussing projects we have underway, our podcast, our source book we're working on, some of the story time things we're going to be doing in the evenings, as well as the Patreon we just got set up that we have not yet done much to, but it will happen, and possibilities of a future Kickstarter. But we are excited to work on sharing our world with you, and with that, we're just going to kind of dive in and just chat. Like I was telling you guys before, we're working on getting the podcast going. Obviously, we've been doing that for a minute. Our biggest draw is going to end up being getting microphones for everybody, which I think I might have found a creative solution to that without having to get a big rig. We might just have a little small podcast mic, and that would help that aspect. Also, this will probably be one of the few live things we do, just because I think it'll be better if we record it and edit it down, make it a little more cohesive without having to have, we got kids.
Absolutely.
So, as far as the podcast goes, that's going to be something it's going to get a little better every single time. It's going to get a little more production value each time. We're going to have, the story's going to build. And then once we're at a point where we're at like a true launch for everything, I want to start over. I want, in our world, obviously, but I want to start over with new characters, a new story arc. As you know how I do though, it's all going to kind of tie in.
Yeah.
Everything ties in my world. It's even the little stories are going to end up becoming big. They can affect things in a large way. I try to at least include that element of detail. As far as detail, our book that we're going to be working on, and I have actually finished the first chapter writing. The first chapter, it's going to be a source book on our world, essentially. It's going to be written in the form of a field guide that's been handed on from person to person. So the whole history section is going to look like it came from different scribes and out of different tomes or rolled up from different parchments. Each region is going to look like it's been done by a different explorer. So it's going to have a different feel to it, and it's going to look like it's been done on different, whatever he had to write on at the time.
Yeah.
Who knows? The whole region might be done in stone because that's what the person was writing on. I don't know yet. We're going to do, I've got the lore obviously written down of the backstory of the world and the continent. We're going to do all the ecological rules. We're going to have new rules for the ecology due to the nature of our world.
Right. It's not like a traditional world. Everything is magic. Everything's guided by magic.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a lot of infrastructures powered by magic. Everything really magic is interwoven into society. It's a really fundamental thing in our world. But as you'll come to find out, our world also exists on the back of a titan, a monolithic water titan that has been ripped from a world, which we'll delve further into eventually. But this provides natural, ecological differences. Things, may not work properly. We have certain things that I've developed, the aurora mist, wild magic fog that creeps across the land from time to time. Little things just to add spice to the world that we don't normally see in traditional role-playing books.
Yeah.
I started doing the little story time things, and hopefully that'll get traction so we can get to 500 followers, so we can start accepting stars, grow it from there. Once we get to, it's a large jump from 500 to 10,000, but once you hit 10,000 followers, you're eligible for monetization, which will just help further. But until then, I've started up a Patreon, and as we do our little stories, we're going to add things from our stories to our Patreon account, which is going to, we're added flavor that we're going to add to our book. You get a little sneak peek of those things. Possibilities of a Kickstarter with the intentions of hiring artists, real artists, because that's going to be the one thing that holds us back, is I refuse to fill a book full of AI art. I want real artists. I want different artists. I want it to be a collaboration. If anybody feels that they want to contribute in any way, whether it be through, letting us know you do commissions, or maybe wanting to trade things. I do prop work, as you can see behind me. More than happy to work something out, collaborate, whatever. We want to get all the members of the small tabletop community, groups out there to kind of like boosted, because it's an upcoming thing. It's a rising thing. People have been getting back into doing board games and getting back with their friends and family and playing these games together. After everything being digital, it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
These little stories we're going to be doing, they're going to be stories that are based out of the world, that are going to be the stories of all the little things, the kids, the merchants. The next one I have coming up is very much a small children's story, and it's about a little pixie who wanted to glow brighter than all the rest of them. Mm. It's a little fable with a good moral at the end of it. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do these stories on these reels, and then we'll take the stories and go back and possibly maybe have them written with art and put into the Patreon or the Kickstarter as rewards for Kickstarter. You get all of our little stories as little PDFs to read to your children with art, which would be a great incentive. Mm-hmm. Also on the Patreon, like I said, something from each story is going to go into the Patreon, whether it be a magic item like we previewed on our Facebook page yesterday, whether it be a NPC, a monster stat block, something from that is going to be added to our world each time, just to help it grow. Is there anything you want to add to what we're doing?
I really like the idea of doing the stories because, like you said, it's stuff obviously that you can add to like the Kickstarter, the Patreon, and all that good stuff, but it really helps in the world building aspect too. Because when you're doing something like world building, I feel like a lot of people get trapped and they have this giant project in front of them, right? Mm-hmm. They have to come up, with stuff like you've already done. You've already come up with like a pantheon, you've already done all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that can be, looking at it as a big project can be intimidating for a lot of people. But when you come up with these smaller stories, you get little tidbits that you can add into the lore of your world, like the pixie, that being a good moral story. The pixie, who knows what form it could take in your world. Like that could be something that pops up later in the story, that could be something else. So
I've actually got a really cool idea for our pixie fable. So exactly.
I think I like the little story aspect because it also helps you as a creator. It helps you break things down into smaller pieces that you can flesh the world out around, and go forward. So,
when I first took on this project, because this has become a really big part, as you guys know, like it's consuming. It started off as like literally just like a continent on a world in the middle of the ocean. It was simple. It was like one of those things where I literally took a bunch of dice and rolled some dice on a sheet of paper and drew a continent around the dice. Yeah, I was like, let's go from there. Yeah. But since then, it went from being a continent to part of a world, but I didn't want to disappoint my players by saying, hey, I had this world, let's start on this continent. And then all the rest of the world is like unfinished. Yeah. So I decided to instead, what if this continent, I had this idea, but what if this continent was just sheared from the world itself? What could possibly cause an actual piece of land and a landmass of a world to be ripped out and thrown somewhere else, and why? And that led to things like a war. And why do we have a war? You know, what caused it? And then we thought, you know, I was like, well, what if there was some sort of feud between divine and primordial forces? And what could cause that feud? Well, what if the reason it was ripped from the world is because it was one single thing that could be ripped from the world? And then my brain was like, well, you know, we're going primordial, let's go with elementals. And then I came up with the 5 elementals crammed into a world together, and then this war breaks out, and it's just uncontrollable, and things go wrong. So the worst continent ever to be, you know, infected with the planar portals and the forces from beyond the veil had been like, it was ripped from the world itself and just flung away and locked away. And the gods were like, let's just work on mopping this up.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. We have clerics, obviously, and these are like lost clerics. These are not clerics who have a deity anymore. Any clerics in our world, like pretty much from this point forward, because obviously we've been playing regular 5e.
Sure.
It's gonna be a thing where like clerics don't draw power from their deities. They draw power from the faith that they have in their deities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they do things like divine intervention, and they want their deity to act in their favor to help them out. It's not necessarily going to be the god itself saying, this is going to happen, or let me fix this for you. It's going to be like the power of their own will manifesting through the magic that was once like given through their bloodline.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you, as a character in this world, pretty much earn your stripes, is the way a lot of the mechanics are panning out to be. There's a lot of different avenues you can take. We're just talking about ways to build resistance to different things by just exposing yourself little by little. Of course, you'll take a hit, but in the long run, you will gain a resistance to something that you would not have had.
That was a great
calculation. Yeah.
Exactly. So little things like, instead of saying, okay, you reach this level, now you automatically get to choose from this list of things you have.
Yeah.
You had already been working toward a specific goal that you wanted for your character and earning your stripes to get it. So when you finally get it, it's like, I can do something new, but also I can do something new and I've worked hard to get here. So you just have a deeper appreciation for the new ability or the new feat or attribute that you've gained, and it makes it feel like the character is more yours.
Well, it's also realistic in a way too, because I mean that's how you get better at things in real life.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta earn it.
For instance, we have a character right now in our world that is he's a low intelligence character, right? But he has interests that require him to read and learn and do stuff like that. And you know, when he started, what was he getting, like maybe 2-3 pages a night, or you know, whatever the role was?
I took the roll and I like dropped it by like a third. I gave him a third or a half or whatever of what the roll was. But yeah, as he's progressed,
he's gotten better. He's getting more and more pages with each reading session. So.
I definitely like to add those things in our games. I want to improve on some of the rules that we normally have in like the raw. You know, I think I got the idea from another content creator, so I can't really take credit for the idea, but I do. We established a rule where like there's downtime activities. Yeah. Like polishing your shield or your armor, or sharpening your blade, or balancing the handle of your blade, or whatever it may do to improve. And you use your downtime to improve, and that'll give you, certain things. And I've written up a certain table in some of our stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to go through it all because I don't want to give everything away. But I have a table, and I didn't steal from the other content creators their ideas. I stole the general idea of it because I wanted to make it all right. Right. And so I ended up like doing things like we'll say sharpening your blade gives a +1 to your attack rolls and damage for the first round of for the first major combat encounter. And after that, after X amount of rounds, it goes away. Or after a certain amount of time of not being used, it goes away. Those kind of downtime activities, gathering downtime activities, those are actually going to be, I'm going to have a new system for gathering in our source book. New system for crafting is going to be in the source book. New system for learning things, learning skills you wouldn't normally have.
Yeah.
You could become proficient in absolutely everything by the time you hit level 20.
Right.
In whatever. And I'm going to try to make this, because I know more about Dungeons and Dragons than anything else. We're going to have it geared toward like a 5e setting. But I'd like to make it where each time we have like a rule set for something, we have a subsection which will be like alternate rules for different games, like Pathfinder or, you know, Call of Cthulhu if you wanted to go. I don't know. I haven't actually played Call of Cthulhu, so forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn. But I definitely want it to be accessible across all platforms as a setting, less than an actual set of rules.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to add like our own spells. I want to add, monster stat blocks. And once again, these are all translatable. I imagine Pathfinder stat blocks. They're not too much different.
Yeah.
You know, there's different abilities, there's different ways that abilities work and different, modifiers you add. But for the most part, you can translate it really easy.
Yeah.
So I want to add that each region of the book is going to have its own unique monsters. Each region is going to have its own unique set of like cultures, obviously. We're going to have a one-shot or two based out of each region at the end of each section. Little plot hooks for each little, sub-city or whatever.
Yeah.
Just as much inspiration for the player as we can without being like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
I want the players to have so much freedom to just make it their own, the GMs to make it their own, but not have to think about, like, if a player asks a question about a god, or a player asks a question about a certain region, or certain, whatever, cultures, I don't want them to have to think about that or make up stuff off the spot.
Yeah.
At the back of the book, I want to have an appendix of NPC names, first and last NPC names, possibly broken down by race or creed, possibly broken down by male or female, whatever, but just to make sure the GM doesn't have to. Tavern names, just a whole list of different off-the-wall tables so that you have your GM tables in the back of the book so you don't have to go anywhere else to get your stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of NPCs, that's why I love the short stories, the small stories he's been doing. It's because, like, who doesn't love a good NPC?
Right.
We still have a habit of collecting NPCs from time to time.
Yeah.
We literally collected NPCs at one point and just gave them jobs in our little castle.
100%.
So we love them all, but of course we can't experience every single NPC that the DM has planned because we don't know what path we're going to take. It's a whole group mindset. So the fact that you have the little stories, you get to explore an NPC or an encounter that may or may not have happened because your players haven't triggered it yet.
Yeah.
But you still get to learn about it and learn about the lore, and it makes the whole book itself a little bit more special, knowing the backstory of this little picture. Like, oh, I know what that is. I read a story about that, or I heard a story about that, or my kid can look at this book and be like, hey, I know what that is. I heard Mr. Beards tell that story the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love that. That's a great way to introduce kids to it.
I really hope that if anybody does, when people do pick this up when we're done, I fully intend on finishing every bit. I'm so excited. When it's done and people pick it up, I hope that we've had enough stories by then that not only do people recognize some of the things, but I hope people use aspects from our stories in their games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope the GMs include Pell as a character who runs by looking at with this little compass in his hand, lost in the streets of Bronze Spike, because that's how he gets around with his grandmother's compass.
And what a great way to pass the torch to another DM, because hopefully plant that seed that can become their new world that they create in their home.
Oh, I hope.
Just to do that and use and inspire people.
Yeah. I mean, really, I just wanted to bring people into our world. I've got so much in my head when it comes to this, and we've built so much amongst us that we really. I want everybody to be able to experience it. I know not everybody's going to experience it. Not everybody's into high fantasy. Not everybody's really interested in this or cares.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
But if it gives you a spark,
But if anybody does,
you know,
if anybody does, gets value out of what we create, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, value, we're gonna end up having like a few tiers of like Patreon stuff. We'll probably have a free tier that has the content that we have on like social media, but put over onto Patreon, so we're not worried about restrictions and regulations, because it's a little more lax over there, and it's a little more like you can be a creator without having to follow so many guidelines. But I also want to have a couple other tiers. I want to have maybe like a $5 tier and maybe a $10 tier. $5 tiers would offer, like the items that come with our short stories and small pieces of artwork that go along with those. Excuse me. The $10 tiers possibly offering like copies of some of the short one-shots or copies of the stories that we wrote with little pictures that have been illustrated into them in a printable PDF. And that'll help out. Any subscriptions will help out. Any stars help out. But everything we actually make through this is going to go right back into this. Like nothing is going to be spent outside of this. It's going to go back into equipment. We're going to try to possibly either get microphones or possibly that big rig to go over us so that we can have cameras and we can have microphones for everybody. I've got one nice microphone right now. Couldn't find the cord for it today, so hopefully we'll find a USB-A somewhere. But I want everybody to have nice mics with pop filters. We're eventually going to have art for everybody's characters, stuff like that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
That's what I really...
You've got some options and artists for you working with.
Yeah. We're working with this guy Anders. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But he's across seas, and he's helping us out with some of the stuff. It's really cool. He's gonna have some good stuff for like our little like field research pictures. Like if an adventurer was just sitting back and he had to quickly scribble a monster, they're like amazingly perfect for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he seems like he's been interested. We kind of he's been asking me questions about the world, and we've been chatting back and forth. So I got a new friend in a different country. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Lots of interest, which is fantastic.
We talked to a couple companies. Let me pull this one up because they said, hey, if you're interested in sponsorship, I'm going to plug them either way, even though we haven't talked about it, because they're doing a really good thing. Let's see here. They are, I've got a lot of notifications right now. Tabletop Role Playing for Beginners on Facebook. They put out these little like just memes and stuff, and they have a subscription service, and I believe they might, I'm not sure if it's a Patreon or not, but they give out tips on like just how to play the game, and it's really simple in layman's terms. I actually shared one of their posts on the page tonight, and it just shows like what is a tabletop game, and it shows you sit down. The GM sets the scene. You tell the GM what you want to do. You roll the dice. It determines. You collaboratively tell a story together, and that's what it's all about. It's about coming together. Which one of my favorite D&D creators actually put it. She put it. I believe she said it's ironic because D&D is one of the like nerdiest, geekiest things you can do, but it takes friends.
But it takes friends, yeah.
And I love that because as somebody who wishes they had people that played this when I was younger, because it would have really helped me out earlier in life. I'm glad I found it now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I found it when I have money.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I probably would have spent all my money on Dungeons and Dragons. I would have so many books at this point, and now I don't have so many books. I have my own stories. I have a few D&D books, the modules that are important. But when it comes down to it, I believe these modules, once again, are very limiting. And it's not that the writers didn't do a good job; it's that they have guidelines to follow, and we don't. We will do what we want, and we're a very small operation. Hopefully, we get bigger. Hopefully, we can find collaborators. But that all comes with putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, is it? Yeah. Is there anything you want to say?
No, I was saying that being said. Did you your intro?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is there anything that you guys want to ask me about the world that you don't know?
So I know you were talking about like how you're going to have different creatures for different regions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that idea. Are you considering like how the magic, because like we already kind of said earlier, magic is the lifeblood of this world, like on a different level than, you know, typical D&D games and stuff like that. Have you considered how like maybe not even necessarily different creatures, but like different species will be affected by the ley lines and stuff in these different areas of the world?
That's a good question. That's something we can do, because there's the world itself is it's funny because we played a lot in areas that were very high fantasy. We've seen a couple high technology zones. Bronze Spike, Wormweald had the monorail that went around to the Golden Terrace. But I haven't emphasized to you guys how technologically advanced the world is. So essentially there's ambient magic that is drifting through the land. And the reasoning behind it is that when this titan of water was sheared from the world whence it came, it now has these like hearth crystals that are embedded in its body that were once basically the staples that held it together. Okay, well, these crystals are conduits. They're power conduits. That's how the titans interacted with each other. So what happens now is as the titan is drifting through the astral sea, these hearth crystals are now absorbing ambient magical energy and ambient astral radiance and stardust and all the wonderful things that are out there and some of the terrible things that are out there. But what's happening is it's absorbing it and pulling it in and channeling it through its body as its own life force, through the veins of its body. Sometimes it bursts through the surface, little ley fissures happen and like arcane geysers burst forth, birthing creatures of primordial and arcane essence. You have areas of the world like the Mistvale Lowlands, where we're actually at right now. Akitas Castle is in the Mistvale Lowlands, and you guys are at the foot. You're at Bowview, which is the foot of the Elder Bloom Academy, which is going to be, I'm very excited about this. I've run that session as a one-shot twice, but I made it specifically for you guys. So I'm really excited to turn it into your session. But that area is not industrialized. Right. It is very raw, wild, like natural park that's run by druids and dryads and fae and people who are in tune with nature and have pacts with nature. But outside of the Mistvale Lowlands, they use magic as infrastructure. They tap into the land where these ley axes are, and they draw magic up through them, and they power cities. They have ley engines underground and in cities that power infrastructure and give lights and give electricity. It's the same thing. You know what is science for people who don't understand but magic?
Right. Yeah.
It's exactly what's going on in our world, except magic is the magic, but it acts as the technology as well. So we have ley harvesters for the arcane harvesters for the fields that are powered by ley crystals. We have turbines that draw in ambient magic and use it to power nearby settlements that are smaller settlements built by arcanists. Yeah. Giant monolithic cities. God, we love Giants Reach. I cannot wait to explore that more. It's huge. 3 mile tall, 1.5 mile wide clockwork tower with an interior of multiple districts and tiers, and built for giants but run by little people now. I have so much in this world that I just want to get out. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have to do this one session at a time, most of the times. This gives us a way to avert that and to just keep going.
Have an outlet for multiple.
Anything else about the world?
I'm kind of stuck on the whole magic thing. It's like I keep on thinking, like you keep on saying, so you talk about like raw magic and stuff like that. Have you considered like the possibility of like how there could be drawbacks of being exposed to like raw
100%.
magic and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
As for me, I like to be surprised. I don't have any follow-up questions because I like to just kind of like shoot from the hip.
Do you have any
Go with the flow.
suggestions? Do you have any things you'd like to see included in our world?
I mean, some things I've already, like in the world in general.
Or in our book? Or as rules or things that you've enjoyed that you want to become canon in a published,
I'll think about that. I mean, we've been talking about doing like a retrieval type spell, which seems like common sense to be able to retrieve small objects in the beginning and then build on that. But the fact that you give us the option to kind of like tell you, hey, I want to work toward this goal, and then you work with us to create a path toward that. That's what I mean by like shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
I like that, and that's perfectly fine with me. And the fact that there is wild magic, there's ambient magic in the world in general, it leaves the door open for us to kind of take some ideas and work to make them happen in game. So I like the fact that it's a place where anything can happen. If you put your mind to it and your effort to it, anything can be possible. So that is too broad of a thing for me to think about a specific question on, because it's there. I know something can be done to make it so.
So on that note of spontaneity, is there, let me rephrase that, each one of you, what has been your favorite moment in our game so far?
In this campaign?
In this campaign. That really like sits in your mind.
The time when Skull tried to make a pie and ended up grabbing salt instead
Oh
of
my
sugar.
gosh.
That was amazing.
The time that Skull blew me up with a grenade.
So Skull can't be here tonight. We love him dearly. He's out for personal reasons, and our hearts with you, and we love you.
Yeah.
Potato, same, yeah.
But him and Potato, yeah, they're a quirky pair, and we love playing with them. But yeah, the salt pie was great.
I have different moments in my brain that are based on like, I guess, different categories.
Okay, better question. Favorite NPC we've done?
Oh, that's so hard. Don't make me choose.
I've got to.
It's like choosing between my children. Favorite NPC. Did we come across the guy with the mushrooms growing out of his face? Was that this campaign?
That was
at
Giant's Reach, yeah.
But not in this campaign, though.
I believe it was. You because that's where you were. You were, let me think. No, that was when we were playing and we were about to go and find the medicine for Quee's father.
Okay.
We've played a ton of different games, so
Many
they kind of run
different
together
campaigns.
sometimes.
We are very active players as much as we can be.
To me, this campaign's still fairly new in my brain, kind of how long it can run.
Yeah.
I can't particularly think of a specific NPC that stands out right now off the top of my head.
I would say this one leads back into Spelljammer as well.
Yeah.
Because we kind of this is all part of it. So you can figure.
She's the goat of NPCs right now for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. She is my fave. I need more of her.
There's been a lot of good NPCs, and typically, like, when I think of, like, a favorite NPC, I would go for somebody, like, funny or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but we've had a few different NPCs that, on a more serious note, are, I'm trying to think of the best word to describe it. They have depth, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have the character, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but it was early on in the game. He was a little halfling fellow, if I remember, that, and I don't want to spoil too much, but...
Well, spoil away. That's past.
He was involved with the cult that we are currently fighting against at every turn, the Greenheart Covenant. And
I believe you're talking about Hiram.
Yes, Hiram.
Oh.
I really enjoyed him just because...
You did like that character.
It's good to see a character that you know, and I don't think Hiram was ever necessarily like a bad guy.
No, victim of circumstance,
Yes,
man.
he just got involved with things that were over his head. But it's good to see things like that because the real world isn't black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have good, you have evil, right? But
there's gray.
More times than not, it's shades of gray, and it's nice to see characters in these games not go with traditional good and evil archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe in his case, he got involved with some bad folks. Once he realized what was going
100%.
on, he tried to get out as quick as he could. The safest way.
He explained that to y'all, and y'all insight checked the hell out of him, and he was very, very honest about himself. He was done with all of that.
Yeah, and maybe that's the appeal to NPCs, that they're either black, white, or gray.
Yeah.
And they're so far into those categories that you can't help but love them because there's just a purity to them. You know?
So Miss Fist.
My favorite.
So that's not her name, but
What's her name?
that's her stage name.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Bertha. So when so a little backstory on this. I met somebody at Pensacon who had a world that they had built in a storybook, a written storybook, and then they made a monster manual based on a storybook. And it was the Grand Bazaar of Ethra Vandalia, I believe.
Fantastic.
And it was like the merchant dragon prince of the Grand Bazaar, and it was amazing. I ended up getting the monster manual. Well, I took that Grand Bazaar and I kind of molded it into our game, and I put it in the head of the stone form of a Titan that was formed. That was a spaceport essentially. I kind of like emulated Nowhere a little bit from Guardians of the Galaxy, but we ended up. It was very different with the fields on the back tended by giants But Bertha, we walked by and Darrow, being the barbarian Darrow is, looks over and sees a shop called All the Rage, and it's what is it? Axes
and t-shirts.
That's right.
Axes and t-shirts, and everybody ended up getting t-shirts. And they met Bertha, who is a halfling barbarian, and she was like just amped, man. Everything was just like, heck yeah, just get some. And all the time. She was getting everybody pumped up.
She was so excited.
And the best part about her is she ran a fitness center down in, I believe it was called the Jaw, or something along that lines. It was the lowest part of the mouth of the Titan where they had like a residential entertainment district. Yeah. And she ran a fitness center, but it was a fitness center and brothel. And it was called Miss Fists. And that's what she went by. And when she danced was Miss Fist. And it was wonderful.
As in pow.
We got a comment from, it was about 20 minutes ago, we got a comment from Michelle, actually.
Michelle.
We miss you all. Hopefully we'll see you next weekend to play a real game. That'd be nice. They said, she said, I like when you chunk it into small pieces and stories and the pieces build on each other. It feels like the character grows. That's kind of how we do play our games. We play our games in like one-shot snippets, unless something happens. Unless it's like the middle of the night and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and we're in the middle of a battle and we're like, we've got to stop. But we do try to break into snippets, and it's nice because you kind of get to see a beginning and an end to each session, which some games you don't see that, and some games you do, but for us, we try to do it more often than not.
You can take each session as a standalone, or you can take them as a collective.
Yeah. And we actually had somebody pop in today wants to join us and play with us, and that's what he asked. He asked, what do we do if people aren't here? And, we're really accommodating. We are. It's either going to be, hey, what do you want to do? Do we want to do a one-shot? Because if not everybody shows up, we're going to do a one-shot. And nobody, concedes and says, keep going. But sometimes, you've been in circumstances where you're like, play my character. I'm fine. Let's just keep going. Yeah. But it's easy enough to do that when we break it up. Small. Herb was at the bazaar.
Herb, that's what I was thinking of.
So Herb was at the bazaar. Herb was there The Fickle Fern, I believe, was the name of the alchemy shop and herbarium that they walked into, and it was a small, like almost like Dagobah Yoda like hut, right? But it was in the middle of this grand bazaar, and they walk in and they end up seeing this half orc, half dwarf. And he's just a short, stocky, gray-skinned, green-looking fella. And that's right, he can't talk like Johnny Chong.
That's right.
And his shop was lit with these small, like, arcane, like, will-o-wisps that kind of floated around and acted like little miniature suns that grew all the herbs in the shop. And then he had mushrooms growing out of his green dreadlocks. He had moss on him because he moved real slow, probably from all the herbs. But
Akita fell in love with her. That's what it was. She left him.
But when they asked him his name, he said, "Oh, my name's Herb, man." Now nobody has ever asked how his name is spelled. And you were just like, oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was ERB. I think that's what I wrote.
ERB. His name is spelled ERB. So that's his God-given birth name. God's given in our world.
God's
It's simple. It fits him.
Herb, man. I'm trying to think of the favorite one I've done. It's really hard because they're all really endearing to me. They're really endearing to me.
Clearly.
I want to say my favorite NPCs are the ones that I always intended to turn into characters.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now, and for a very long time, my favorite NPC has been Mox.
Yeah. And Mox popped up several times.
Mox is my tall, copper dragonborn who wears a duster and looks like an old kind of cowboy. He wears the wide brim hat with notches in it. And he's always chewing on a cigar and walking around talking like this kid. But he's my favorite part about Mox that really, like, you guys saw it one time, but you never got to explore it. Mox's hobby, he's an artificer. Mox's hobby is collecting feathers. And he likes to collect pretty feathers. But he uses those feathers as arcane infusions. And he infuses spells into the feathers, and then he hands the feathers out to people as one-time use spells.
I think he did something with a feather one time.
Yeah, we only met him once or twice, and he ended up giving you a feather.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. I like Mox. Ranrik has a soft spot in my heart. Oh, Ranrik Willowheart, my first character ever played.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So what? And let's not talk about your current character. Let's talk about, out of all your past characters, name one secret, little backstory, a little snippet that no one has figured out yet or no one knows. And I'll go.
So you got like Darrow and Atar.
Darrow is
and Carmine.
And describe Darrow.
Carmine's head's right there, so he has no secrets anymore.
Anyway. For the crowd, you've got to like describe Darrow because they don't know what these people.
Oh please, yeah, Darrow was such a good character.
Yes, so I actually
really put a lot into him.
When we first designed characters for that specific game, and it was a Spelljammer setting that Aaron modified a good bit. But when I first designed Darrow, he was supposed to be. He had like this, we all have tragic backstories, of course. You have to.
Darrow's was a good story.
Darrow
I put a lot of thought into that.
Was kind of taken as a slave, and he was forced into this fighting pit from a very young age, where he got, his prowess in battle and stuff like that.
Didn't he have scars?
Yes,
yeah,
he was covered in scars. And he ended up, after he broke out of this fighting pit, which I did a whole backstory based on that, and it went into everything from like how he prefers to fight, like that, explained a lot of things about him. And he ended up getting picked up by these space pirates who he worked with for a long time until they ended up essentially boarding the ship and taking a bunch of slaves from the ship to be traded. And he ran into this little blind girl that
Oh,
he
yeah.
ended up kind of
He was a real sweetheart.
softened his heart a little bit, and
Yeah.
that's what made Darrow more from, you know, a ruthless criminal killer into what he was at the point in time that we got into Spelljammer.
Yeah.
So that was really the biggest thing. Is I think Aaron was the one who mostly knew about the backstory because I put some time into it.
Yeah,
I wrote it all
book
down.
And for people who don't know, that's really touching because Darrell is a big gorilla.
Yeah.
So this big gorilla has got a big soft spot, like Mighty Joe Young.
Now, in all fairness, the story wasn't written by Darrow. It was dictated by Darrow under threat of death to somebody else to write, and that was very much apparent at the end of the story. It was so good.
That was the
it.
NPC that we actually ended up kidnapping. I can't remember his name either. I feel like it started with the M. But it was one of the baddies that
he was a little astro elf who was just
take him.
Yeah,
because Darrell was not happy. Like he never acts like this.
I'd have to look at some notes to get his name. He was. It was fun. You guys tortured that little guy. But he ended up being really a cool character in the end. We really made him like he had a redemption arc in the end.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, you know, just because he worked for a genocidal empire didn't necessarily mean that he was big on genocide himself. So
fair.
He ended up seeing things our way, and Darrow may have axed to him a couple times and be like, hey, write this.
Now, you, Aaron, you don't play a lot. You're normally DMing, so out of the characters you actually play, I guess you can go back to NPCs, because you do a lot of NPCs.
Well, I have a lot of my characters would have been characters had I not been completely engrossed in building a world.
Tell me your secrets.
Oh, God. Let's see. I'll give you a little backstory on each one of my characters that I can remember without notes. So Ranrick, you don't know too terribly much about him. Ranrick was the abbey brewer when he was living there, and he was very pious. He also imbibed a lot. And the abbey was not too keen on that because they used it for ceremony. You would never tell by Richter that he did. He's very much a composure guy. He holds his own. I mean, he's a gruff dude, but you can never tell if he's tipsy, aside from maybe the stench of ale coming out. Ranrick. Yeah. Sorry, Richter. We're playing.
Richter's also drunk almost every day.
It's fair enough. But he ended up getting basically not kicked out of the order. But they asked him to nicely go and run a whole bunch of errands. Basically, they gave him a really long to-do list and just said, you know what, as long as that takes, man.
Like, go on a pilgrimage.
Years or not, just go ahead. But I needed to come from this part of the country.
Like way over
so
there.
He decided to use that opportunity to... I'm sharing this. To use this opportunity to... travel the country, gathering new ingredients, recipes from different cultures, because that was his passion, was brewing. And Ranrick, I've described him once in the very beginning. Ranrick is a stout dwarf, tall for a dwarf. He's probably reaching near 5 feet. Very broad shoulders, woven, braided, wide, red, like copper tone red beard with a big brass ring around it that kind of frays at the end from all the wear and tear in the work. He wears a tunic of chainmail and leather that has kind of been woven together with a green, kind of forest green cloak that he wears, a leather cloak that he wears with a hood that he kind of always keeps drawn up over his head. But if you look at his belt, he's got a belt that has like herbs and brewer supplies and little like hops are hanging off drying under a little. He's got a little like almost like lean-to built over his drying, like he dries herbs on the go so the rain won't get to it. But on the back he carries a keg, a mini cask on his back so he can brew, and he's got more hanging off of that.
He's got a pony cake.
Yeah, it's bigger than a pony cake. It's like a half cask.
Okay.
It's like half of it. It's like half of a whiskey barrel.
Because that makes me happy.
Imagine like a whiskey barrel that fit perfectly on a stout dwarf's back. Like it was made for his back. It's formed into a backpack. And, so that's Ranrick. I want to say, oh man, I've used a lot of them. I really liked just tearing you guys up with the last girl I made.
Who was that?
Trassamon.
Yes, that was a
astral elf. She was an Echo Knight rogue assassin, which was
ate us alive.
Ate you guys alive.
But really
luckily for you, her sleight of hand passed with a natural 20, because if she had not gathered that green crystal out of Skull's grasp, she would have killed every single one of you.
Nah, we would have won.
You always say that.
It would have been very close. You would have had to hold her off until the guard got there. If you held her off until the guard got there, though, you would have like had the guard on your side. So like there's, and these are all paths. Obviously, you guys don't explore that I thought about. He was good. Who else did we have in the castle?
There's a lot of people in that castle.
We ended up pulling people from Curse of Strahd. Oh yeah, the mongrel winemaker.
Yeah. That wine.
Really? You want to try the wine? As you see it, like he kicks the carcass of a dead rat aside, and the blood skitters, and he just leaves a streak, and he's like, "Don't worry about that."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. We've got Blinsky. That was from Curse of Strahd. We're gonna end up renaming him. He's not. That's not the Toymaker's name anymore because copyright. But he ended up joining. Periwinkle ended up joining from Curse of Strahd, and a handful of the witches became the cooks and the house mothers.
Yeah.
Once you left there, I really enjoyed Irem Largeguts' story. I don't know if you were here for Irem's story. That was the werewolf story. That was a good one. That was a good one where you found out that this town was like run by a council of werewolves.
Well, tell me one secret from that character, and I'll tell you mine after that.
Irem Largegut doesn't really have too terribly many secrets aside from the fact that he is the town itself. Their symbol is a wolf, a timber wolf, but the town is not aware.
Foreshadowing.
The town is not aware that the council is all lichens. They're all lichens, not just Irem. And they keep it like that.
Got infected with a lichen zombie.
That'd be terrible.
A turtle druid with a lichen zombie.
Yeah, he didn't want to get rid of it either. It was amazing. So in the city, in our world, in the city of Nelavara, running one of the temples is a turtle archdruid beast.
Werebeast, yeah. Terrifying.
Same character?
Yeah, we still use his character sheet. It's the same character.
That part of our campaign, that part of our campaign ended with a mishap with the immovable rod and blowing up half of someone's house.
That's such a good magic item. There's so much you can do with that.
It was a great mishap. It was a good mishap. It was in the best of ways. But then I did accidentally destroy half of the landowner's house. So
these things happen.
Collateral
damage is to be expected.
I will jump in and tell you. Of course, my favorite character is my first character, Akita. She is a tiefling, or half tiefling, actually. That's not even her biggest secret, but she has many secrets. Y'all don't, or he knows, you don't know. Her backstory is tremendous. She's like an iceberg. There is so much backstory, and that's why when I'm playing that character, I'm like, you're gonna love her or hate her, because she will do things for a specific reason that if you don't know why, if you don't know the little ins and outs, you'll be like, why is she making this difficult? Why is she running into this burning building? Why can't she open this chest? So, one of her secrets is she has a thing for dragonborns. So she already loves dragons. I know, right?
That is interesting.
She has any dragonborn character that has
is my wife, by the way.
That has come across her path. She has had a little crush on them. She's a very outspoken tiefling character, extremely optimistic, like about everything. Everything could be burning down around her, and she would be like, "It's okay, we're gonna make our way out of here." She does have a soft spot for children, which was blatantly obvious. If there's a child involved, she's on it. She cannot go the other way. She's constantly giving kids money, just because. But her, I'm not going to give the big reveal because you guys already know the big reveal for her biggest secret that she didn't even know she had to discover. But she grew up in an outskirt of town, in like the hovel, the poor people part of town, with her mom. Mom was a single mom. She was only a half tiefling, so her teeth are rounded and not sharp. So she doesn't smile much. But when she does, she's very self-conscious about her teeth because they're not sharp like most tieflings are supposed to be. So she's very self-conscious about that. Her mom was constantly bullying her, constantly putting her down to make her resilient, because she knew not only are you a tiefling, which means you're kind of an outcast to most of society anyway, but you're only half tiefling. So you're also an outcast to other tieflings. Mm-hmm. So she was always bullied and picked on. Her mom was the hardest on her because she wanted to see the other people in the world as a kindness. But despite it all, she loves her mom. Even though her mom was like mean, not abusive, just mean to her, she loved her mom. She always forgave anything that she did that was wrong. She's very distrustful of other tieflings. Like, that's why she doesn't like Atar. She's like, I don't really like Atar, and then he keeps rubbing me the wrong way, so I really, really don't like Atar.
Fast forward, they're firm friends.
Yeah,
30 years in the future.
It took a while.
It
took a while. But, and it's unusual because normally she loves everybody, and it'll be like, oh, she loves everybody, but why doesn't she like this character?
Well, and Atar does.
Why does she like that character?
Because he's kind of a gruff character anyways.
Yeah.
Like, he's very no nonsense, down to business. Everything is calculated. Everything has a reason.
Oh, she's...
So when you have another character that just does things...
Polar opposites. And it seems like she does things just to be chaotic, but not really. There's a mindset that she has. And when I spent days developing her backstory. This is my first ever character. This is the one you read the whole book for. And I spent days, like 2 days. Like
we sat down for like 8 hours and just built a character for 8 hours.
But I did that for a reason. I wanted a solid backstory so that if I came to a point where I had to make a decision, this is my first character ever, I wanted to be able to make the decision based off, well, she would do this because of this thing that happened in her backstory. So this is her clear decision. And to everyone else, clearly that's the wrong decision, but her actions were strictly dictated by her backstory. I don't have to think much when I'm playing Akita because this is going to be her choice because there's no way around it for her. This makes, in her mind, the most sense. Everyone else's mind, she looks freaking crazy. So... That's just how it is. So that's why I love that character. Is for when she does have the biggest backstory. The one I'm at right now, Eve. You'll hear the people call her Eve, V, Lavi, Val. Everyone calls her.
She's been through some transitional phases.
She's got some dead names.
She's really coming into her own.
She's got some dead names. But V is usually pretty much across the board for her. Her backstory is it's the second most developed backstory. So, what is that? Okay,
sorry, I was just trying to
interruption.
I know. We're new at this.
On a roll here.
Good.
We're new at this. Once again, production value will increase.
Anyway, so Eve has a pretty good backstory. There's still some things I'm hashing out, but there's a lot of mystery to her backstory that she doesn't know. She does have a bit of amnesia. There's a huge black spot in her memory, and then she also has the two memories of two different people into one. So for those of you who don't know, you guys came in after the fact. Eve was two separate characters. Eve was Lavi, who was a necromancer, and also her alter ego, her separate character, doppelganger, was Val, which was short for
Eval.
Eval.
Yeah.
We named her Eval.
So it was La Vie, and La Vie spelled backwards. And then they ended up having a giant battle where, spoiler alert, La Vie technically lost. It was the necromancer against a mage slayer. So she
we specifically built her to destroy her.
And I specifically
made
built
for
La Vie to be able to overcome, but she just wasn't able to. The roles weren't there.
Not in that.
The roles weren't there. So Eve, I almost just said V, but Eve is two characters matched into one. Both those characters didn't have their full memory, and so you'll hear other characters asking her questions, and I'll be like, she doesn't have an answer. Like, there's no answer for this. She does not know. Yeah. So a lot of it is shrouded in mystery, and the characters, her group is still kind of getting to know her because she's new to herself and she's technically new to the group. So, and it's a huge transition. Right now, she's just kind of finding herself.
I think Richter is actually more aware of what
probably
she is than she is herself at the moment, because I had like a really high wisdom check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also Richter being the cleric of faith. Well, we're gonna switch that around a little bit.
Yeah.
Once we start a new game.
To be determined.
The cleric of to be determined. For now, no, we'll say for now he's the cleric of Saloon.
Yeah.
And in this current game, we found out that you are the mortal embodiment of Saloon. You were that's what she was you were split. The goddess was split into two mortals, and that's what you became. And then once the death of La Vie happened, her true self kind of intervened through a divine vision, and a flash occurred, and there was a brand new figure lying on the ground who looked completely different from both of them. And now that's Edie.
Yeah.
And you're Sorcerin, because we went ahead and merged your classes, which now you're just really deadly with Paladin meta magic. Fun stuff. But yeah, you kind of hit your transitional period, and now you're working on increasing power, which is going to end up being what everybody kind of goes through.
Yeah, I was just the first to, I would say, pretty much complete.
You were the first to hit that.
Now I gotta get into my own skin. Go ahead and go in my room in the corner above my desk. Thank you. But I was the first catalyst.
Yes.
I'll just say catalyst. I was the first to experience a catalyst, and I believe.
But it also gave you a vision.
Very
Richard's is coming very soon, especially with where you guys are at. You guys are in a region where ley magic is everywhere. It's ambient. There's things like ley geysers, arcane geysers that burst forth just radiance of pure magic. There are mists that can cause terrible effects, but also give boosts to magical effects. You're in a great spot right now to, as a matter of fact, you just gave me a new idea. So,
let me ask a question. Are we rolling tonight?
We might be.
Okay. I'm just asking because I don't want to, I know this could definitely go on. So, a question we got a lot last time we went live was, I really couldn't follow the story because people are coming in with us like in the middle of a campaign. So this is a great opportunity to just kind of catch
do a recap.
Absolutely.
You know what we can
just
do?
in general.
We can do that if we want, and we can do a recap tonight, and we can all kind of chip in on the story a little bit, and that kind of can be what we do tonight. That'd be a good thing. And if we have time, I have such a short one shot that it would take us an hour, and it's only 8:21, guys. Come on.
Hey, that means it's got a lot of combat in it, I'm sure, so I'm down.
It could or couldn't. That's up to you, honestly. Really, it depends on how it goes. But that being said,
with that carrot in front of me, I'm not going to read my notes to do the recap. I'm just going to go from memory. I figured we can all just do that, and we'll be able to hit the high notes.
Oh, 100%.
And not get caught in the weeds.
So, yeah. So
How did it begin?
How did it begin? It actually began with a Spelljammer meeting.
He just saw that for the first time. I had to show it.
It started with our Spelljammer game, actually. Mm-hmm. We ended up playing The Light of Xeraxis. And because they know, everybody out there doesn't, Spelljammer, soft spot in my heart. That was my favorite campaign setting as a teenager. I love the mix of sci-fi and fantasy. It spoke to my soul, and it still does to this day. I 2 Legend of Spelljammer box sets up there, identical for some reason, and I don't want to get rid of either one of them. I love both of them. One's in really good condition, and one I want to play with. Yeah. But I've got the original maps. I had them pinned up my wall as a teenager. I had D&D maps on my wall as a teenager, and I wish the people that were around me played because I would have had so much fun.
Spelljammer.
We started with our Spelljammer game, and we played through the Light of Xeraxis. With the party was Darrow,
big old gorilla,
our astral elf Nidra. Shout out to Bridget.
Kanisa.
Our Kanisa.
Flying spider.
Not Kanisa, it's Kanisa.
That's right, Kanisa.
And God rest his soul, our friend who is not with us anymore, Travis.
Who played Spencer.
Take a nice drink for him.
Our hippogriff.
We love our buddy, we miss him. But
there was
yes, Spelljammer does
7.
that. Thanks for joining Tabletop Role Playing for Beginners. It was fantastic to talk to you. I want to get up with you more. I definitely want to collab with you.
7 was our automaton.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we're
he was
forgetting.
our unintentional Benedict
who was
Arnold.
Terry's character?
Terry was a plasmoid.
Oh.
Shout out to Terry. Miss you, buddy. Terry was a plasmoid. Rick. It was an acronym. But
Restrain. I can't remember what the I was.
I don't remember.
Restrain, incapacitate, kill.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So he was just like a big blue booger.
Yeah. So we did a Spelljammer campaign. We finished The Light of Xeraxis. We saved Xeraxis. Now, in my story, once again, I like to weave everything together. I don't like things to stop and start over.
There was a twist.
It turns out Nidra was heir to the Xeraxian Empire, and the person who was looking out for her also found 7 and rebuilt 7. And she was 7's charge. Now, what he didn't know was that the power source, and this is a little bit of a backstory secret, what he didn't know is the power source that he had found for 7 was the exiled Lich's phylactery from Aronnax, who was the corrupted form of the cleric who served as the conduit for the Prime Moratorium.
I know, that's a lot, guys, but...
It's a lot. It's backstory that will be in our book. But anyways, he's an old character that came back as a bad guy, who turned into a lich. They stopped him, sealed him in a crystal. This crystal was the power source for 7.
Our automaton friend.
None of this was known, by the way, until the very last section. Literally the climax of our campaign.
A beautiful time.
So,
in the midst of the star shattering, the pulse wave expanded. Ren says, I have no idea about this. Everything you tell me is brand new. I'm sure a lot of people.
Yeah.
Scoot up. Ren wants to see you. Scoot toward me. Since we're not playing right now, you guys can scoot toward me if you want to.
Well, the closer I get to you, I think. No.
Anyways, when the star shattered, the pulse wave emitted it basically fractured the Lich's phylactery. And what happened was it cracked, releasing the entity inside into Seven. Seven then proceeded to shatter into 1,000,000 pieces in a bright green flash, which all immediately stopped, suspended in midair, and coalesced back on himself into a fractured, glowing form of Seven hovering above, with tendrils of green light swirling behind him in the form of a Bane Lich, which in all of itself isn't that terrifying. He didn't have a lot of abilities. He had a lot of counter abilities, which really made things difficult. Anyways, you finished off Seven. I can't remember, I think it was magic missiles that did it. They went through, pierced the Lich's phylactery. It flew out the back of our friend. His body fell to the ground, slumped to the ground. And
his power source.
The power source flew through the sky and entering the atmosphere of this planetoid of Vansara, which it turns out is a water titan, shattered into 7 pieces. And they flew across the land and kind of dotted different areas of the land. And since then,
like a meteor shower.
Yeah, like a meteor shower. When we ended that campaign, we ended it with...
The ending was amazing.
Yeah. We ended it with their new characters sitting on the surface of Vansara, watching a green star shriek across the sky and split into 7 pieces. And when we started our new campaign, it was 30 years later. Mm-hmm. And they all kind of gathered and knew each other.
So now we get to start the real summary.
So now, where we are, they work for an organization known as the Cloister of Shadows. It's essentially a knowledge-keeping organization for arcane intellectuals. It's a monastic library of arcane secrets across Vansara. There's a network of them, small cells, but the larger headquarters are where you guys train.
Yeah.
You guys were all sent on a mission. Now help me remember.
We were sent on a mission to invest. It started with everybody came to where I was working, which I was a necromancer at that time, and I was training, and my teacher was training me to move the dead bodies because I lived in a swamp area. I was a hermit, so it was very quiet. My necromancer was Levi. And my job was to, anybody that died in the swamp area could not be just left there to contaminate it for multiple purposes. For one, bad for the environment. For two, out of respect and the religion that Levi has, she is charged with taking care of the dead and making sure they make it to their final resting place so they can be properly cremated and move on with their lives. And that was her sacred duty. There was an instance that occurred, the very first one, where we go to a temple where we would incinerate the bodies, but my my teacher was, my mentor, was letting me know that there's something to come, and
she was attacked.
She was attacked.
You ended up getting attacked by a rival necromancer. And you defeated the rival necromancer, I believe.
Well, and that's when everybody showed up, was during the battle.
No.
Like, we started with the battle.
You ended up getting sent to the cloister. I remember.
That's right. Yeah, I got
so she on her basically as she was passing away, she told you where you need to go, and you need to go to the Cloister of Shadows, which you went to them, and you ended up enlisting with them and working with them
because the bad guys had stolen a green gem that was in the temple I was working in. And my mentor charged me with making sure I found the gem and went to the Shadow Cloister to help them because they were the only ones that could pretty much help
me. They had the knowledge to
find that gem to restore it to where it needed to be.
Yeah, and Richter, you started off with, I believe, you were in Bronze Spike at your temple, I believe, and then you were officiating. You were basically blessing the expansion of a new brewery.
Yep.
That was the new Royal Brewery expansion that was coming out, where they were going to give tours and they were going to allow the public to come and do tastings. It was going to be grand. But when they broke through, they found that there was an old pool that had a creature in it.
It had a bunch of creatures in it, if I remember.
And a bunch of little squirming, squelching creatures, and a larger creature that was kind of in control of them all.
We took a jar of it, which I still have, and it's probably full of just rotten.
It's at this point, it's
David.
Do something with it one day.
It's been a very long time. Well, you know what? Maybe one day we're going to go back on that because it was 30 years, so you would have literally done something with that, or maybe it'll just be on display at one of the laboratories.
I just like to think that Richter thought of it as like a memento of the time he lost, because that.
Okay, well then it is a jar of goo. So.
This goo is memories.
So that ended up turning into a battle
goo
with a cultist of the cult that I mentioned earlier. And that battle did not go extremely well for Richter. He did survive, but
You're the same cultist?
the cultist that we ran into later, yes. It was a lady cultist, if I remember correctly, and she ended up essentially, was it hold person or the something, but Richter ended up being incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of stuck with Richter until he did eventually get his revenge with the assistance of the rest of the members of the party. In a nice little epic battle.
That was pretty cool. That was in the woods.
Yes. That was in the woods that could be controlled by...
the mechanical woods?
Yes.
Yeah.
The gated wood.
Yeah.
So, you joined the cloister, okay, and that was later. But what happened was you were all sent to Wormweald. This was like years later, 30 years later. Actually, you guys had been at the cloister, I want to say, for 2 or 3 years.
And then they sent us out on our missions.
And they sent you on a mission. You were a team to be sent to Wormweald, which in our world, Wormweald is the trade capital of our city. It's a central hub location. It's a walled ring metropolis. Our metropolises are gigantic in this city. We don't do small cities when it comes to the big ones. I mean, there's trams that get you around. Getting from one side of the city to the other side of the city on foot will take a couple days.
We'll have some illustrations of that.
We're going to have maps and illustrations in all of our books. I'm very excited. But anyways, off topic. Wormweald is a walled ring city. A little description. The floor level is, the residential working class. The second tier is a ring that rises up around a central skyport platform adorned with a crystal. And the second tier is a trade district that has 4 chromatic dragon skins tarped over it. Ancient dragon skins that are tarped over it, covering most of it. You hear them fluttering in the wind.
I remember Lovey being very uncomfortable there because it was such a big city and she's a hermit.
It's very big. I mean, it's very big. But there's a central tower that rises up with a third tier that has a natural park and a garden that walks around. It's a little more serene, and kind of the populace it goes there for a moment of quiet. And then once again, the central tower that's the city center that has all the functions and the government, the utilities, the council.
What were we there for?
Rises up. You were there to investigate a disturbance under the city. Yeah, after an earthquake happened in Wormweald, which was a one-shot we did.
That's right.
That caused an earthquake.
So
was that the same one where we were trying to get into where we got to the buggy and we were supposed to go to one city? There were 2 choices.
No, that's
That was actually the
that was last. But anyway, we were in Wormworld. Our mission was to investigate underneath a crater, correct?
Yes. So you heard that a hole opened up underneath an old warehouse, and finding your way down, you winded your way down through a network of tunnels and crags until you found where it started to actually become hewn stone. And there were stairwells, and it led you down into an underground facility you found out to be called the Arcanum Workshop.
That's Potato got those toenails.
Yeah.
The Minotaur toenails. Potato collects strange things. Shout out to Potato. But one of them being Minotaur toenails. So little nugget for you for the future. She's got Minotaur toenails and a bunch of ball bearings. What she's gonna do with those? Who knows?
So The description of the Arcanum Workshop is it's essentially an underground district. Just to refresh y'all's memory, an underground district of Wormweald where
you got pregnant.
Now I want to say
Not what we're calling it.
I want to say now I don't want you to think that this is a direct representation of what it looks like, but I actually took inspiration from BioShock. I took inspiration from Rapture because in that game they built a place where scientists and artists and performers and creators could build a place where they wouldn't be held to the constraints of morality. And that's what the Arcanum Workshop was. For
Spoiler alert, it didn't end well.
Not for the denizens, and when they got down there, it was pretty abandoned. The ceiling of the Arcanum Workshop is a gigantic cavern underground, the ceiling of which has an orb embedded in it that emulates the sun and the moon. So that they can be, they have cycles of the day, so they don't get cabin fever. It is essentially little districts of botany districts and technology districts and alchemy districts and biological districts where people experimented, artistic districts, places where old technology was built, old weapons were forged, old creatures were developed. And a cult had essentially taken over this because they found this was the resting place of one of the crystals that had landed, which they ended up getting.
Yeah.
And they took it back to wherever their headquarters is. But
before that happened,
you found your way through. You actually found one of the legacy weapons. You found your way through. This was actually back when Queen was with us. The Arcanum Workshop, that's when Queen was with us. Yeah. That's how we discovered Bronze Spike.
Well, we've been to that workshop a couple times.
Yeah, you came back. This one, that's right. This one you came back to the workshop, Aftermath, after our game. Oh man, oh god, we play so much. I love it. So you came back and you found the aftermath of this, and there were still a few patrols, that's right, and there was the Overseer, who was a Minotaur, who wore a cloaker as an actual cloak, and the cloaker absorbed some of his hit points and then eventually detached and became its own entity. It was a lot of fun. But you went down there, you found out that the crystal had been taken, you got the information you needed from what you could gather.
But you gotta tell a story of how you got pregnant.
Richter found how he got pregnant. It's not
Do you want to tell the story?
It's not a pregnancy.
I don't think Richter didn't find it, first of all. Someone else found it.
So I will tell you.
Let's tell the story as it happened.
How come all these mishaps need to Skull? I think Skull did something.
No, Skull didn't do anything here.
Was it me?
So when you guys found this workshop that belonged to the gentleman who asked you to find his toolbox.
That's right, the toolbox. The side quest, I thought.
It was a side quest. And it was. You found his toolbox. He helped you out. When you found this toolbox, you also found a small entity that he had discovered. It's essentially an ancient piece of arcane magic that goes sentient, that creates a sort of will-o-wisp orb that hovers in midair. It's very calm and doesn't really do anything unless it detects magic. Yeah. It's drawn to magic. So what happened is Richter, being Richter, curious Richter, decided, I'm going to cast a spell. I don't know if you heard it or not, but it was a spell. Yeah. And what happened was it was drawn to you. Yeah. Now, this is a creature of my own design. It's a devious little thing for spellcasters, but you happen to find the note that told you what it does. Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily want to spoil that because that is upcoming.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us what the note is. Well, do we know?
You guys know.
You guys know because he read the note. He read a note. This creature eventually develops into something. Yeah. Finding this after it's incubated inside of our friend. Now, the trade-off is that our spellcasting friend Richter here has to give up 2 of his spell slots over the course of this incubation. Yeah. One at first and another one later in the incubation. So now it creates another element of tacticality where you have to worry about spell resources, and am I using too much? And by the time you get those back, we're going to be so ramped up that you're going to have everything.
Oh,
It's
I'm
not
already
going to
so
matter.
used to not having those spell slots now that it's going to be. I'm probably going to forget
Maybe
that
it's
I can
like
use
Superman.
You better
dude.
not forget. So once we got you out of there, once you got impregnated, I will forever. It's you're carrying a little one. So once
You want
impregnated,
to tell him your name? You named it.
Did you name it? Did you tell us the name?
I did, and for whatever reason, now that you put me on the spot, I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Back
So
I'll remember it here in a little bit, and I'll yell it out randomly.
Well, we got
I'll let you
ambushed. We had
yell
like
it
an
out.
army in front of us. But I do think that's one of the coolest escapes we ever did. I
That's
remember
cool.
that escape when I stomped
That was-
and the platform of Earth popped up.
yeah.
Because who was it? Skull was down.
Mm-hmm.
He was down. Skull is huge, by the way. Aaron's character Skull is, how big is he? 8 foot?
At this point, he's 9 feet. He
Yeah.
grows.
He
He grows a
grows.
little bit. Yeah. And he can cast enlarge, so he can get like I think 15 feet tall is how big we determined he gets.
So at that point, I think he was 8 foot tall, and nobody could lift him. And there was an army of the other cultists that was about to come at us, and we were already taking some hits from the Minotaur. I remember, I forget what the spell was. Earth shape.
I think we ended up using something like mold earth,
Yeah.
or maybe it was the claw that comes up. I can't remember.
No, it was just a disc.
Oh,
Remember?
you actually had the disc.
Yeah, it
No,
was
you
the
actually
Earth disc.
you actually have a disc that we modeled it to be an
Yeah.
earth disc.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I remember we saw the big ambush coming up. Our big giant guy is down, and we needed to run. And so I did this move where I stomped my foot, and the big disc basically carved out a circle around Skull's prone body, his 8 foot body. But because the way the spell works, this earth disc hovers above the ground. It detaches and hovers above the ground, but it can only be X amount of feet away from me. It follows me. So and it can carry a lot. So I popped that up and I just booked it. And so basically it's a imaginary tow line between me and this disc of rock that's carrying our 8 foot
because
friend.
this is the session
Remember
that I
that?
wasn't here.
Oh, that was so cool.
You
That
guys
was a great
dealt with
escape.
spiders, I think, too, that session or something
That
like
was
that.
you should have been there
Might
when you
have
got
been.
pregnant.
I wasn't there. No, that was the session after that one.
This is how we escaped. But that was a cool escape. We were able to just
The spiders were afterwards. You guys all escaped on the train.
And then something happened.
The train was still there. You ended up getting to the train.
Mm-hmm.
You took the train to Giant's Reach,
Mm-hmm.
which there's a reason it was set to that. That goes back to a past campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And a very
But you also found a bunch of Genasi slaves that the cultists had gathered that you saved.
No, not that time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the previous time.
You found.
We didn't have any Genasi with us.
You didn't have any of those.
No, that was the year. That was the
Genasi
previous.
was the
Played for a
previous
long
campaign
time.
where we first got into the train.
Okay.
I thought we used stairs to get out. I remember there being a mishap at stairs because
Yeah,
of this.
once you got to Bronze Spike, there was essentially stairs that led up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And you or Giant's Reach.
Mm-hmm.
No, Bronze Spike, wasn't it?
We went to Bronze
You went
Spike.
back to Bronze Spike. That's right, because you went and saw your temple.
That's right.
You went and you got in
That's
an
where that
altercation with Trosso
We
Mon,
attacked everywhere we go.
who wiped
The
the
floors
floor with you.
us. Absolutely. She.
Rand keeps saying the pregnancy is killing me.
I know. It's killing me too, believe me.
He is okay. So you are a dwarf
Incubator.
paladin.
Nope.
No, you're a
Cleric.
dwarf cleric.
Yeah.
So you're you're a dwarf. So you're how tall?
Full plate.
Like 4 foot.
So you're like 4 foot tall, full plate, not skinny, with a full beard and pregnant.
Stocky. With a long
Listen,
history
you
of
never
drinking.
know by looking at
You
him.
never know. He glows.
He is still pregnant.
I'm
Yes,
literally
absolutely.
glow, yes.
He's
he
doing
has-
day now.
When he channels the creature within him, he prays and he talks to the creature within him because they've gotten to that point where they can actually communicate. And when everybody looks at him and he's doing this, he actually like has an aurora that shimmers across his skin due to the arcane nature of the creature inside of him. It's kind
an
of like,
arcane pregnancy.
it's an arcane pregnancy.
Symbiotic
And
relationship.
symbiotic arcane pregnancy.
It's a little parasitic.
No,
But you guys got to Bronze Spike. Let's
Yeah,
see.
for now, but-
Let's see where the recap goes from here. You guys got to Bronze Spike.
He got drunk.
You guys went and
As usual.
visited the
Yeah.
temple and had a night to recoup.
Mm-hmm.
You got
We got our new
Drunk.
outfits.
that was
that was a little further down.
Oh.
a little further down. You ended up getting having some bar time. Went down to. Did you go to the arena or not?
I don't think
I
we've
don't think
gone
you guys.
to
I don't think you guys
There
went
was-
to the arena yet.
We got distracted.
Ironhide Arena.
We visited the. Oh, we got arrested.
You got arrested after fighting Trosomon and having the bag of holding stolen from you,
With a
which
giant
you just
green
bought, by the
gem
way. I
that
want to
we've been
remind you all of
hunting.
that. That got stolen. The guards came upon you for causing a disturbance in the streets and arrested you. You met the diarchy
Mm-hmm.
because they recognized your insignias as being the Shadow Cloister. You met the diarchy. You found out that the queen was sick and the king needed your help. You went
And you were
down.
flirting with the queen. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't know
right.
She was married at the time.
You didn't care.
No,
after
you did. You
found
did
out.
because you thought the king was dead.
Yes.
But you still didn't care.
I stopped flirting with her after
you?
that. Yeah.
You were drunk though.
Yeah, Richter
Your
may be
character
Richter, but
was
he
drunk,
is
yeah.
he is respectable when he knows the facts.
Okay.
Man of the cloth. I'm not-
Which cloth, burlap or silk, you'll never know.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. So you went down to the mines and ended up helping and finding what you needed.
I feel like we missed some.
No. You came back up and you got audience with the queen when she was better, and you found out that the royal guard that she held,
Mm-hmm.
Envoy,
Yes.
Yep.
Who's another automaton?
who was one of my favorite characters, by the way. I absolutely love Envoy. He was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Envoy is an automaton. Remember that word we used before?
He's a warforged.
Yeah.
A warforged, sorry.
The same thing. A little more, but same thing. Envoy was actually the queen's husband. His physical form had perished, and
His spiritual form
his
was
spiritual form was
transferred.
fading, and his son happened to find the body of an automaton that had fallen from the sky
Mm-hmm.
in the center of a great crater.
Mm-hmm. Like it fell from a great distance.
Like it fell out of a spelljammer ship, quite possibly.
It all
from
comes full circle.
space. So they fixed this body up to be a royal guard and placed the king's soul inside of it. And he lives protecting his wife.
They're very sweet.
To get information on Richter's predicament,
His condition, his delicate
Condition.
position.
Mhm.
You know,
they
condition.
found out that he's not the only one, and there is another person
Who's going through.
who's gone through it. Actually, two more.
Yeah.
One being the king,
Oh.
whose crystal dragon's skull was down below the palace,
Oh.
inhabited by a giant dragon
Mhm.
skull, hermit
Mhm.
crab.
That was cute.
That was fun.
There's also his son, who inherited this quality of being able to do this.
I feel like we missed the part where Potato lost her wings.
Oh yeah, no, Potato definitely lost her wings in the skyship crash. That's right, from Wormwood.
It was a giant magma toad that swallowed her and actually.
We will
That
we'll
is a
circle.
horrific scene.
I'm going to circle back around to that because I actually owe somebody an explanation on that.
No. Okay.
Somebody that drew the toad for us.
Oh,
Believe it or
nice.
not. Where was I at? Oh, anyways, they found out the king's son also had this ability and also had a dragon that he flew around on, and he patrolled the skies above the mountains. He was essentially the guard who housed himself on the thinnest part of the mountain above the Iron Haven, so that he could protect the thinnest part of this barrier.
So we traveled through the cold to get to him.
You traveled through the cold to get to him.
And many incidents.
And that is where, right outside the bulwark, razor blades, snowflakes, all sorts of stuff. Right before the bulwark, you found him flying on his dragon above a lone figure in a snowfield, who just so happened to be the evil paladin that you were playing, who was the split version of Levi, in which Levi gets completely pummeled really fast.
Just like she was just taken by surprise immediately.
Richter befriended the dragon to kind of calm it down.
Yeah.
And
I merged with my other.
You merge with your other half in a blinding flash. You then find out that after all is said and done, you're brought into his home for rest and food. You are then given directions to the nearest branch of the Cloister of Shadows. You make your way there.
Meet Atar.
Meet Atar, who is your old character and a head scholar there, the head of that branch, I do believe. He says he knows a place where you can gather more knowledge on everything that's going on. So he gives you passage through one of his teleportation circles to his good friend Akita's.
That was one of my old characters.
Your very first character. Your good friend Akita's castle. Which he tells you is a very calm place, because she's a very nice woman. She has a very soft heart, and she likes to keep things nice and tidy.
Did we ever see the castle?
Yeah, because when
The
you
floating
walk
castle?
through to Castle Hellfire, as she likes to call it, to keep people away,
Yeah.
you walk through to Castle Hellfire only to find the castle in complete disarray, and people are running and screaming and shouting. And Akita runs by, and she points at you all and says, "All of you come with me right now." And you all follow her, and you, her, and Atar find out that the runic bulwarks that hold the lava flow from Mistheart Volcano at bay,
Because the castle's located next to a volcano.
are failing and threatening the small hamlet of Akatani down below. Now, she loves her people, and she doesn't want anything to happen to them. So she enlists your help. You guys force back the elementals that are coming out of the lava. You stop the magma wolves that pop out. You reinforce the bulwarks. You fix the runes, and you stop the flow of lava. Richter dies, I believe. Dead. Not unconscious. But being in Akita's castle, with the clergy she holds and the power she has, for the help that you just gave, she was not about to let that happen. So she immediately got her finest clerics up there to perform a rite and bring you back. She then gave you a tour of her small, beautiful hamlet, where you find out that everybody cares for one another. People are well taken care of by the castle itself.
Short stories about that.
There's going to be some good stuff about Akatami. She gives you writs to get your custom armor made by her finest smiths and leather workers and clothiers. And you get matching sets of quieted armor, because God knows you were loud for a very long time and disadvantaged on everything. So you get your writs. You manage to get this beautiful shining armor, which I'm working on. I'm going to get some artwork for you guys, because that's just too cool to have matching sets of character armor and not have a piece for that. And she tells you the way to Elderbloom Academy.
Because What's happening at
Oh,
Elder?
no, you're going to Elder Bloom to get more information on the green crystals and everything going on, and what's going on with you.
And
So we're very close to where we're at now.
That's where we end. After that is our next the session that we recorded previously.
So we have two. You managed to go through the Mist Veil. It was a travel session where we actually went ahead and moved you from Mist Vale to right outside of Veldar.
What are you doing?
Which is our shipbuilding city. There we actually met our newest player. You actually had a little encounter right before then at the beginning of that session where you came across an undead entity that was actually stalking Akita.
Her reckoning.
It's a very old penance that she has to pay. Had to pay. We don't know if that has to pay. You guys just walked away from that one.
No, we killed it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Mercy kill.
We tried to walk away from it, and somebody wouldn't let us.
Mercy kill.
Yeah, it was dead. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
it needs to be put to rest.
That's right, necromancer. You got to Veldar and managed to find out that one of the cranes was sabotaged, and found out that it was a member of this cult, or an aspiring member of this cult. We had an encounter, I believe. Do we have an encounter? With that?
Yeah, we ended up following them into an alleyway.
Oh, that's right. We had the alleyway fight. Yeah.
We won.
That was a flashy back and forth fight. A lot of shadow stepping and trying to get away, but not quite being able to. And then being the other dock workers came over. That's right. After that,
We ran into another character.
you ran into you had met our newest character, which I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Oh, because we kept saying crayon.
Oh, we kept calling him Crayon. That's
Was
right.
it Crayon or
we
Crayon?
messed up, and now we can't remember because we called him
Cran.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't remember his last
The
name.
artificer, yeah. You met him. You were all on your way actually to Elder Bloom, so he joined you, and you booked passage on one of the caravans that was actually headed back up there with guard that was provided by the Guardians of the Celestial Bow, which are the order that keeps peace in this region, that works with the druids and the local builders. They actually work as not just like guard and like a policing force, but they also work with the people to kind of help ensure that, to help this places, but also ensure the regulations are held so that the natural order is not displaced.
That's where we are.
But you made your way up the Bramble Road to the small town of Bowview. And as you approach this glade where Bowview is located, you see that right beyond the houses are the bottoms of the roots, or parts of the lower roots of this gigantic tree that, if you look up and you follow the roots, is situated on the peak of this small mountain in front of you, and it consumes almost the entire peak. As you look up, you see above the small hamlet of a town, very Swiss Alps style architecture. You look up and you see this tree that is so big that it consumes the entire skyline above you with its outreach. It is alight with with domes and spheres of light that look like dewdrops going down its trunk and off on its branches, adorned at the apex of each bough with these platforms that are topped with great crystal domes, great observatory platforms with hanging gardens that fall down like jellyfish. On the very top, the largest dome, you see, even from this distance, the silhouette of something poking out of the top, something large. You're looking at a school, an academy, full academy grounds with an arena in the center, built into a giant willow oak that's on top of a mountain. The oldest tree in the original world of Aranar, the world that was before Vansara. This is the first tree ever planted in this world.
And that's kind of where we left it.
And you left at the base of the roots in the small, quiet town of Bellevue, looking up at this tree as you see a small, thin-framed elven academy student running in a hurry up to the guards, looking flustered as she's shouting something.
And then we're almost caught up. We just didn't go over the potato.
Now, the potato incident.
Yeah.
The potato incident.
So, Potato's a fairy who can't fly. And there's a reason.
She didn't start out like that.
And as much as we love Michelle, she decided to fly away from every problem in the beginning. So I took her wings.
But how did you take
when
your
you were
wings?
on the airship flying, that's right, because you had an airship, you flew out of, so you didn't take the tram, you ended up flying.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I get lost in our world sometimes. You flew out of Wormwheel, and the airship was sabotaged and crashed. That's where you met Hiram. That's right, in his mechanical spider house.
Which we love, that mechanical spider house.
The entire house in
So
a tiny sphere. You jumped in his house for a safe refuge as the airship was going down. Long story short, crystal engines blew.
Airship's going down.
Jump into Hiram's mechanical spider. It's a demiplane, so
it's much bigger
and it's
on
a
the
magical
inside.
object, so it survived the fall. They walk out to the wreckage of the ship around them, and as they're gathering themselves and they start to traverse
Through the forest, because we
through
were
the
almost
forest.
there.
Yeah, you were almost to the gated wood. The forest itself, we played a lot.
Yeah, but we came across the frogs.
The forest itself, right outside, housed the den of this large frog. This frog with 4 eyes, 2 on each side, made of shards of obsidian, with lava rock and boiling pustules of magma on its back, popping with cracked veins, as if like a cracked floor of lava that had hardened a bit. The mouth was roiling with flames, and a giant flame tongue would lash out. And fairy, being fairy, liked to fly. So she was flying around, and the frog saw a flying object and decided
It looked like a tasty
it
bug.
looked like a tasty morsel. So it lashed out with its flame tongue and grabbed onto Potato and pulled her into his mouth.
And it
wouldn't have been so bad
Eat it.
if he hadn't had used an ability I developed where he essentially vents all the gas in his body and creates a large explosion, which took her wings. They were there, but they were singed, and they looked really bad for a long
That
time.
almost took her life.
Almost took her life.
Like, it was pretty terrifying.
Now her wings look better, but they still don't work.
It burnt Skull's beard.
Burnt Skull's beard apartment
clean.
off. Yes, beard apartment. I said it.
Yes, a beard apartment where Potato likes to go fly in and live. That's where she lives.
Yes.
In Skull's beard. So there's a little fairy named Potato that lives in an 9 foot tall, giant. What is he? Goliath.
He's a Goliath, yeah.
Lives inside his beard. But not only did her wings get burned off, but also her home burned down. So
She had a rough day.
little bit of her ego too.
it was a bad day for her.
But she's doing much better now, and they managed to make their way into a place called the Gated Wood. And this is actually how they got to Bronze Spike. My memory is not great. In the Gated Wood, the trees moved.
Mm-hmm.
Things were a little awry. They
Mechanical forest.
It's essentially a forest it's a maze. It can be moved and shifted to confuse people and keep them away from the entrance of the great city of Bronze Spike. But it had been hijacked by some of these cultists. And
nobody could get in.
Nobody could get in, and they were all kind of hunkered down in this little bunker. So our adventurers here decided to make their way to the nearest control center and get rid of the cell of cultists.
This is where Patience came in handy.
Patience, you're a spectral raven.
I have a spectral raven. Now she's spectral. She was just bone
yeah.
and maybe and shadow, but now she's bone with a spectral skin.
Mm-hmm.
Or feathers, I guess.
You found this cultist cell where you found the woman that got away from you 4 or 5 years ago and finally dealt with her after a long time and took control of the woods again. And doing that, the dwarves granted you swift passage through. Mm-hmm. They managed to basically part the woods and move all the trees out of your way for a straight caravan shot through the woods so everybody could make it there quick and on time.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you went out to get drunk. Drunker than normal that night. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then you got to Bronze Spike, and that's where we picked up. You got drunk, you got attacked by Tross-O-Mon, arrested, diarchy.
So on and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah. Go find the dragon, the dragon rider.
Atar.
Merging. Yeah. Going to see Atar, going to see Akita.
Now you're here.
Now we're here. Yeah.
And we're going to continue there at the Elder Academy with, like I said, something that I've actually had practice on a couple times, so it's going to be a nice game to run. It's going to be fun.
About an hour to wrap up a lot of our sessions.
That wrapped up a lot. That went back a long way.
All the way.
That went back a very long way. That went back a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Really? Has it been a couple of years since we started this one? No.
Been about a year and a half since we started this one.
It's crazy how time flies.
We got to think Aaron and Michelle.
It's been about a year, maybe a little bit longer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron's been with us for about 3 years now, almost.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. And then you've been with us for almost 7 years?
It's been a long time.
5, 6, 7 years?
No, like 6 years.
6 years?
Because it was like before Rohan was born.
Yeah.
I think I was pregnant with Rohan when we
We've
started.
been playing a long time together. We really enjoyed it. But that's where we're at now.
This is your reference.
This is a reference. If you have gotten this far, thank you. I've noticed a few people watch. I saw 4 people watching at one time, which was very cool. We're getting there. We had 4 likes, so we'll just share this. I'm actually end up clipping this down and taking our little frame and shortening it and making it a little bit more
pretty
legible. I will say that from here on out, we're probably going to end up doing less live streams and more pre-recorded streams so that, once again, we can edit it. We can take some of the sound effects that we hear and play with that nobody else would be able to, and we can pipe them in and make it sound good. And then we can upload them to our YouTube channel. I've gotten our YouTube channel back up. This video will be on YouTube. I've gotten our last video up on YouTube. It's only got a few views, but hey, maybe one day we'll look back and see 4,000 or 5,000 views on it and be like, wow, who knew? Either way, we are going to have...
You're the perfect shirt for today. Oh my gosh.
Then we got backstories.
Fantastic.
Shout out to Critical Role. Obviously, those guys are a lot of these table...
Big inspiration.
A lot of these podcasters are a huge inspiration, and it's not... I would say it's not just because they're D&D podcasters and they're fun to listen to. I'm like, hey, I think I can do that. It's because they were able to bring me back to something that I loved from my childhood that had gotten taken away from me by the company that I decided to keep.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I found the company that I love and the ones that I want to keep around me for a very long time, I'm glad we get to experience all this together.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I think that's why I owe like all these tabletop streamers and you know, Stranger Things brought it back to life for a lot of people, which we've still got to finish.
They owe me money, by the way. They stole my name and my motto.
Yep. Yeah, they did. Yeah, this is going to be a fun journey. It's going to be long. It's at times it's going to seem like we're just kind of treading water, and that's fine because as long as we're having fun while we're doing it, I really don't care.
I think your theme for tonight is find your tribe.
Yeah.
Go out there and find your tribe. Find your people. Find your geeks.
Yeah.
Geeks.
And if this is the kind of tribe you want to be a part of, please follow us. Give us your likes, your shares, your follows, your comments.
Love to hear your opinion.
And that is a lot. Like a lot. We've grown a lot in the past few days, I'll be honest. We've more than doubled the number of followers we've had in the past few days. A lot of it is networking, but a lot of it is also just kind of like reaching out to the right people and trying to say what we're about.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else you guys could think of about what we're doing, what we want to do, any fun moments you thought of, any favorites you thought of before we leave.
We've covered so much fun and flavor and excitement over this past couple of hours. Yeah. Like, I'm like, my low-key cart is full.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can't really think of any specific questions right now, just because I'm just still kind of absorbing. That was a lot of information. So I'm still just kind of processing and absorbing everything that we went over, because we have not gone over our entire campaign.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
No, I mean, just now. Since we started this campaign, we had not done a total recap.
Yeah.
Ever. So it's been like almost a year and a half now. We have not done a recap. So that was like, wow, that's a lot. It's a year and a half.
We did a lot. And we kind of got lost in the campaign before because it took place in our world as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, our world is going to continue to grow. It's good. The book's going to continue to grow. This is going to continue to get better each time. This, by the way, guys,
take a good look at it.
Take a look. This is coming down because this week we are putting up something cooler.
Nice. Most of that stuff has been up for like 2 years, by the way.
I'm going to show you.
Go up, but some of it will not.
Yeah.
But
actually, most of that's going to go back up.
But it is
but the actual wall itself is going to be much cooler. I'm going to show you what it's going to be before.
We're getting an overhaul, guys.
A big overhaul to start off this new adventure we're going on, and we hope you join us. We hope you join us on this adventure and stick along and give your opinion. We want insight. We want, if you guys want to see something included, if you want to see us run a game based on something, if you want to hear a story based on something, tell you what, if you guys have, if you want to have me make you a custom story based in our world, reach out to me. I'd love to do that too. Something you can tell your kids at night. Anything to get our world, our imagination, our love for this genre, this game, for each other. We just want to make sure that we share it with everyone.
Yeah, we may be part of a story, but we're still an open book.
Yeah. It's definitely a story that everybody shapes in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I love everything we do. And hopefully we can make it a lot more in the future. But for right now, it's a fun thing we do, and we hope you enjoyed our 2 hours of talking super geeky stuff. And if you didn't understand it, then maybe one day you will.
No, if you didn't understand it, ask us what you didn't, what you want to know.
Yeah, put them back in these comments. Shoot us a message. Reach out if you know us personally. Reach out personally. We love you all, and thank you very much for bearing with us. Good night.
Thanks, guys.